Hey everybody, it's Dana with Coach Dana Inspires.com, and we are so excited that you're here with us today. We have a very special guest. I just have to say I apologize that our previous guest that was scheduled for today, Alan Cody, was unable to attend, but we have an exciting interview today with Marty Dickinson. And Marty is not only a great friend of mine, a coach, a mentor, just a fabulous all-around dude. But we are here today, and he is the founder of Here Next Year. That is a company that does many things for people who want to speak and people who want to author their books. And so he's a all-around great dude for that kind of thing. So today is going to be Marty, and we're going to be talking about something that I think all entrepreneurs, business leaders, we really want to know more about. So let's get into this, Marty. First and foremost, how are you doing?
Oh, I am all fired up and ready to go. I had a couple of days off last week before the 4th of July, and it was really difficult to do because we have so many exciting things happening in this industry. But I knew I better take off a couple of days because it is just going to be an action-packed summer right into fall.
Absolutely. And I think you're right. And because you and I've talked about this, that the people that both of us, we are talking about, our clients, our business associates, people just that we know in the biz, people are pretty excited about, we are breaking out and going to be speaking more in live events. Is that what you've been hearing too, right?
I've been hearing that a lot. Matter of fact, in the two national conventions I was involved with in the planning stage, this was years and years ago, we started 6 months in advance to plan for an in-person event where you bring in 14, 15, 16 speakers and have a 2-3 day event. And now these events are popping up with like a week or two worth of planning. Event planners, people who hire speakers, are so desperate to get butts in seats in person. It's like a race to see who can do it first.
Well, let's talk about getting there. So if we're a business owner, we're an entrepreneur, what should we be working on right now? Speaking of speaking.
Well, the first thing I would say is really mindset, because even after so many years, people that I talk to that are business owners, they don't even think of speaking as being a potential lead generator for their business. And that's a huge mistake, because I think getting up on stage in any form, whether it's virtual or in person, is the best possible lead generator you can have. I mean, there might be 10,000 people that see this live message, or after it's published on Facebook, they might come back a little while later and watch it. And no matter how terrible I present myself, there's still going to be at least one person that does what I suggest at the end of this. And that's what speaking really helps a business owner with. You don't have to be an expert professional Tony Robbins kind of speaker to use speaking to build your business. And I think that's a really big mistake that a lot of people just go through their whole business cycle and they never discover that it's such an exciting secret, so to speak. And that's my message. I just have always wanted to get more business owners involved in presenting their method, presenting their expertise, and then people come to you. And it's such a soft sell when they call you, because they already know you. They already know what you do. And if you neglect that part, if you put it aside, you're swimming upstream. It's so much more difficult to generate leads for your business if you don't have that component.
Right. And you have a little bit of experience in speaking for your businesses. Is that correct, Marty?
Well, I mean, I've built 3 businesses in the past 25 years, almost exclusively through speaking.
Exactly. And I think that is so exciting. And I hope our viewers are really hearing this, that you don't need to be, as Marty just said, you don't need to be Tony Robbins. You don't need to be a John Maxwell. You just need to be you and have your message and craft your message and get it out there. I think that's it's not maybe that simple, but it could be that simple. And Marty, you have got this fabulous thing going on, and it's called Speakers Speak Group. Tell us about Speakers Speak Group.
Yeah, I just realized that as we open up and we get more involved back into the main speaking arena, that people needed a place to go. People that are not only established speakers, but also people that are just thinking of getting into speaking to promote their business. So that's what I created on Facebook. It's just a small group. It only started a month ago. We have about 150 members in there now, and it's growing fast. That's what we want. And we want to keep growing. And so you can go to SpeakersSpeakGroup.com if you are outside of Facebook and want a way to get there, or a way to inspire others that you know to go there and join. It's a free club. Just join, and then you'll have interaction with other speakers. You'll have a weekly interview. I always find an expert in the speaking industry to interview about their amazing craft that they're able to offer. So I have full-length interviews too. There's no opt-in or no sale that has to be made for you to see these. It's just a community where we talk about topics that no one else would care about unless you're in the speaking industry and unless you're wanting to use speaking to build your business. Those are the only topics we cover. But to have that support, that one place to go where you can get support like that and be in an association with other people who are doing the same thing you want to do, has just been priceless for me. It's only been a month, but like I said at the beginning of this, I am just so supercharged with what is to come in the industry. And it all started because of starting that group. It's been the interactions, the connections I've had, and other members too, that we're building this thing. We're just all excited, happy, positive people in this group. And it's just really fun to hang around all those people.
And it's very true. I have to say, I am part of the group, and I enjoy. I haven't missed one, and I don't plan on missing any unless I'm traveling to speak someplace. But it's so great to be in a group of speakers, and really talk about speaking and what it does for you, and how do we improve? How do we get better? What are we good at? I mean, no matter who you are. You may be just starting out, you're still good at some of it. So how do we enhance that for you? I think it's a priceless, absolutely priceless. And when you, Marty, when you were dreaming about this group, what drove you to this model that you came up with?
Well, honestly, sorry for the little self-promotion, but it came from a line in my book. Right? Lions always win. How to spot what you want in business and life and get it too. And it came from a line in that book where I say, you become who you hang around. And that line has been nagging at me for the past year since the book is released. I kept thinking, I've been part of National Speakers Association since 2004. I've been a member of Toastmasters since even before that. And I still had this, although I love those two organizations, there was still something that I knew that there could be a higher level connection there somewhere. So I went in search of it for myself. And I've had that connection. So by building the group, I'm hopefully providing that to others that are in the group. But I started with myself. What do I need? What do I need as a business owner that's been doing this for a while and has been in the speaking business for a while? Yeah. And that's where the group originated. So now we're just building from there. And I thought again, well, Marty, what else do you need? and that's where Speakers Speak Live evolved, which has turned into a weekly, every Wednesday practice group for people who are new, established, or emerging professional speakers. Or if you're, a lot of people don't want to be labeled as a professional speaker. They just want to be seen as a resource, an industry expert, a resource in their industry, which is fine too. It all comes under the same thing though in this group. If you are a speaker and somehow you are getting paid for that presentation, whether it's from new clients or somebody's writing you a $10,000 check for your keynote, doesn't matter to me. You are a professional speaker, and that is a level above a public speaker. You just need to do things differently. You need to practice in front of people who are in that business so that when you try something, they can say, well, yeah, I tried that in front of 200 people a couple of weeks ago. That didn't work. You don't want to do that. Do this instead. This is what you need to do. I mean, you're just not going to get that from other groups out there. And I recognized that. I noticed that there was something I needed additionally. And I just figure there are other people that need that too. And it's turned out to be the case.
Yeah. And I have to say, I agree with you on that. I've been a Toastmaster for 29 years and counting, I suppose. And I love Toastmasters. Great organization, absolutely fabulous. And it is a place to learn some skills.
Absolutely.
And so many people join Toastmasters, they build some confidence, and then they move on because they just need to give a little presentation at their off, not little presentation. Getting up and speaking is not little. You're giving a presentation at your office or at your social or religious organizations, and that's really all you need. But there are many of us in Toastmasters that do get paid for speaking. That's part of their business model, just like me. I mean, I coach women entrepreneurs, but I also speak. So I want a better place to practice, to get feedback, to get input on what I'm doing good and how can I improve. So I really think, and I'm not a member of National Speakers. I know it's a fabulous organization, but I'm in Cheyenne and the closest one is down in Denver. And well, that's an all-day trip to go down, do the meeting, come back. Love you, mean it, but I can't do it. But that we need a place to practice, to speak, to I think engage. And have you felt like, like you said, it's only been a month, but these live meetings that you've been having, how do you think that's going? Do you really feel like we're engaging and that we're connecting with each other?
I do. It's actually the fastest 1 hour time frame in my entire week. I cannot believe how fast that hour goes by. And we're talking about extending it now. I mean, it seems like everybody wants more of what we're doing, which is awesome to hear. So we'll be thinking about that as time goes on. But the whole key is that, I want to have a condensed area of time where we're not dedicating a whole morning to a meeting or a night away from our family. I wanted this to be part of your business day, just like a meeting. You schedule a meeting with a potential new client, you might be on the phone for an hour. Great, you're done. But we start on time, we end on time, and after an hour, it is done. And that encourages people to be there every single week. So you're making new connections because there's always some new people in the meeting that we have, and then you're not only connecting with people in general, you're connecting with people that are in the business. So, I mean, we get Lois Kramer on there, and I mean, she's one of the foremost authorities in the speaking industry. Yeah, and when she gets introduced to you, you have all kinds of opportunities to connect with her. And then once you do, you send an email to her. So, oh yeah, I remember you from Speaker Speak Live last week. Yeah, let's talk. So you get on the phone with her and you start talking and she finds out more about you. And then she has all kinds of connections in the speaking world, my goodness. And that's what we need to be doing more of as speakers, is connecting with these people who are connectors, who know the speaking industry and can point you in the direction of where the speaking gigs are. So when they come in contact with someone, they say, oh yeah, I know this Dana Morgan Barnes person. I heard her speak and she's just wonderful. You got to talk to her because that's exactly what you're looking for. So those are the kind of connections that we need to be building as we go forward in 2021 here.
Right. And as things are opening up, I think this is going to become more and more important to get that connection, get that practice, get that feedback and input from others. And I think that's the basis of this group, isn't it? Is just that, it's I know a speaking gig, but also that I know that I could call. There's several people so far that I've met on there. I think I could call any of them and say, hey, can you listen to this? What do you think about this? Right. And really get some feedback from them.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, every week we have one showcase presenter. So that
Okay.
person can present whatever they want for 10 minutes. So far, it's been introductions. So the first 10 minutes of a longer 45-minute or 60-minute speech, our showcase presenter of the week usually chooses the beginning, but it doesn't have to be. It's just a good thing to practice. I mean, the most important part of your speech is the beginning and the ending. So by practicing that beginning and really nailing it and getting all that feedback is really something that's hard to find. I mean, even if you gather a bunch of your friends out there, if they're not in the business and they don't know what to be looking for in the construction of what you present, you could be getting faulty information, number one, but the other problem is that you're not getting the information you need to really improve that speech and knock it out of the park when you do get to a place that's important with 100, 200, 300 people. But then we have this whole other thing, which is the hybrid factor. Because all these events, they all want to be hybrid. They want to have the in-person component, but they also want to have the virtual live component. So how do you practice that? How do you practice speaking to an audience over here, and then all of a sudden you have to include your audience virtual as well? I mean, these are the challenges to the professional speaking world right now. We're all wondering, how are we going to do this and do it really well? Well, Speakers Speak Live is the perfect place to practice that environment, because you could actually set up a location in your home and you could bring people to sit there if you wanted to, and you could talk to them and then present to us in a virtual format. And not all hybrid situations mean that you're going to be speaking in that fashion too. You might be brought out to speak at a conference, and then they want you to do your segment all of a sudden from your hotel room. So here you are back to presenting in a virtual format. So you need to continue to be practicing and using your camera, talking into the camera lens, all the things that we've been doing for the past year or more. Get a nice microphone that is connected to your lapel or your shirt or your dress, whatever it is, and practice in that uniform that you plan to be out there on stage, and get all your equipment together, lighting, all of that. It all has to be in place so that you are well practiced. I mean, now, Dana, you asked me to be on this program, and I literally had 15 minutes to take a shower and get dressed. I was sitting outside in my front lawn working on my computer, and now I get this invitation. So I had to quick get ready and be here. Well, my setup is already here. All I had to do is plug in my laptop, plug in my camera, plug in my microphone. I was good to go in under 5 minutes for my setup. Whereas a year ago, if I tried to do that, I was, oh my gosh,
where is everything? What do I do?
So because I've done this so often, it's just like, I mean, it just happens. All that technology stuff, you don't have to worry about it anymore because you're so used to it.
Right. And I have to just say this to everybody. I'm terribly grateful to you, Marty, because we didn't know that our scheduled guest wasn't coming until the last minute. And so thank you, Marty, for being that's why you're my go-to guy, because I know you are put together and you are ready to go in moments. And so I really do appreciate that. But this is a learning opportunity for everybody. I think that we need to be ready to be called on, that we can be that go-to person. And that's one thing I really appreciate about you, Marty, is that you are ready. You have content. If I wanted to ask you about building businesses in other ways, you still could have talked about that. I asked you to talk about the Speakers Speak group because I really feel like it's very valid and meaningful for today's business people. And so thank you very much. And all of us out there in viewer land there, think about that. Who can we be that go-to person for situations like this? You may have somebody that would normally, be giving a presentation live or a hybrid situation, and they get sick. Maybe they break their ankle, God forbid, or their appendix, or blah, 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 whatever could happen. And they say, hey, I know a guy or a gal. Here's her number. Here's his number. And you could be that person that could be on and maybe make a big difference in your business and in the lives of the people you're talking to. So big lesson learned for us, I think. So Marty, what do we do with this Speakers Speak group? Tell me, a viewer out there is sitting here going, I'm sure more than one viewer, but we're sitting here going, wow, that sounds interesting. I'd like to get involved. Tell us, what are they going to do? How do they do it? What do they get? Tell us step by step.
Okay, well, the first thing is just if you're in Facebook, we will have if you're watching this on Facebook, we will have a link in the bottom comments area that'll take you right to the group. So it is private, so it's not viewable to the general public. You need to request to be a member. So then I'll see that come in and I'll vet you. I always go to the profile and make sure that you're a real person and you have a real interest in speaking. I can tell just by looking at the profiles, and then I'll approve you and bring you in. And then after a couple of days, I'll have all new members I'll ask them to introduce themselves, what their speaking topic is. So then you can just kind of write in there and that starts the process. There's no charge to it. But what I really encourage you to do is go to the guides section. There's a little tab in the Facebook group called guides, and we're adding to that all the time, but there's a particular area in there by Lois Kramer where she talks about having a speaker positioning statement. So I really suggest that's where your speaking career begins, is by developing your speaker positioning statement so that you can articulate what the heck you talk about. How many times do you get asked, what do you do? Or what do you talk about? And your first thought is, well, how do I answer that? Yeah, you need to just have that off the top of your head whenever anybody asks.
Right. And if you're not on Facebook, they can go to SpeakersSpeakGroup.com, and that will take them into the group to request to be put in.
Right. If you're not logged into your Facebook account, you'll have to do that first. But even if you go to SpeakersSpeakGroup.com, then you can sign up through there. But the other thing is go to SpeakersSpeakLive.com, which is a standing, we have every schedule of our Wednesday practice sessions on Eventbrite. That'll take you to our Eventbrite page, and that will give you a list of all the Wednesday. You can sign up for one of them or all of them, however many suit your schedule, and just be a fly on the wall. Just come in and see what it's all about. It's a lot easier to understand what we do in there by just attending one. There's no charge for it. It's just a networking event where we practice speaking.
Right. And being a fly on the wall, I suppose someone can pass if one wants to, but if you're thinking about being a professional speaker, you want to take the opportunity to give an introduction on that live group. Everyone gets to say who they are, what they're doing, and it takes practice, like you said. And this is a great place to practice, and you get feedback on your positioning statement. My name is Dana Morgan Barnes, and I speak on this, and I have a book, and this is how you can contact me, blah, blah, blah. So I think everybody, you may not be ready for the showcase, which is just 10 minutes. Come on, kids. If you're looking to be a professional speaker, 10 minutes, you can do it. But come in, work on your presentation, work on your positioning statement. And I think this is such a wonderful way to go about getting better at what we do.
Right. Yeah. My father always used to say, Dana, he'd say, Marty, a good speaker, I'm trying to get the phrasing right, a good speaker accepts a speaking opportunity and figures out how to pull it off later. So there's your challenge. If you want to use speaking to build your business, I'm giving you an opportunity to present your business to other attendees in the group. You just have to figure out how to do it later. Just accept the opportunity, go sign up for it for 1, 2, 5, however many weeks are on there, and just build your week around this Wednesday 1 hour, and you will find yourself becoming a better speaker. even if you're not participating as the showcase speaker. I mean, the evaluations that you hear of, we have actually a round robin system of evaluating. So a speaker will give their 10 minutes, and then everybody in the room gives a little evaluation and critique of the speech.
Yeah.
So just by hearing those, you walk out of this room a better speaker just by hearing the comments from other people. So it's really interesting how it's evolving.
Yeah, I like that, because all of us can take that goal that people are giving and use it for ourselves and our businesses and our speaking. So Marty, our time is up. It
goes fast.
flew by, I tell you. And Marty, thank you so much. Everybody, take a peek at SpeakersSpeakGroup.com or SpeakersSpeakGroup on Facebook, and think about joining that, and think about coming to the live Speakers Speak Live, and get on there and practice your positioning statement, learn from the best. Marty always brings in people that are wonderful speakers and have great knowledge. So get on here. Let me just show you Marty's information if anybody is interested in contacting Marty, asking him more questions. Here he is, Marty Dickinson. Here's his email address, phone number. He actually does take phone calls, which is really kind of cool. And SpeakersSpeakGroup.com. I just really encourage everyone to think about doing this. Give it a try. See if it's for you. If you're a professional speaker, it's definitely for you. You'll get something out of it for sure. And maybe you think you don't need Speakers Speak Group. First off, maybe somebody needs you to be on there. Maybe we could learn from you. And you never know, you just might meet somebody that might be that connector that you've been looking for. So Marty, thank you so much again. This has been great. And if you want to know more about me, more about my coaching for women entrepreneurs, I'm happy to answer you. There's my information right there. If you want to know about these interviews, contact me. I'm more than happy to talk to you. Marty, thank you so much. This has been fabulous.
You're welcome. Glad I could jump in and help.
Oh, I'm super glad, because I really have been wanting to talk about Speakers Speak Group on this interview thing, and perfect opportunity. So thanks everybody. Until next Tuesday. See you later.